Welcome to another edition of the Willy Bragg Show. I am your host, Willy Bragg. I hope each and every one of you are doing well today. And we have people on the chat line already. I like chat lines. I like busy chat lines. So, hey, Warren. Warren says, the news, fucking batshit crazy. Understatement of the day, however, still true. This better be good. I'm missing Marty Feldman look-alike contest for this. I'll try my best. Kamishwari Kate, how are you? Uncle Warren, it's gonna be good because it's a Willy Bragg show. Socialist and dirtbag leftists. Thank you. How you doing, Kamishwari Kate? Desert Manta said, live from the Tar Heel State. That's the correct state. It's America's most critical night owl, and the guy you hope brings his records to your party. Sisters and brothers, here's the Willy Bragg. Here's Willy Bragg, dirtbag socialist. Yes, that is I. Very much so. Very much so. And we have here, let's see. Oh, Well, I sound a little like Ed McMahon. No, I actually thought Ed McMahon a little bit. I did, believe it or not. Oh no, Ted Nugent. Yep, Ted Nugent. Yep, I got a lot of things to say about him tonight. Oh la la! What? Whoever had the post-punk dream pop on the bingo card, I never saw that coming. Where's that? I never imagined I like it. Yeah, that was from a person named Dutch Reves, and he did what was called post punk X, indie pop, indie rock X, goth rock type beat habits, and they basically it's a riff off of Susie and the Banshees, as you can see there. You saw Susie and the Banshees, Susie Sue from taking a cigarette break, I guess. So add a little ghostly reverb to it all, and it's perfect for these times. Very much so. And a moose. Yo, all you out there, just landing on my UFO 2 minutes away. That's 1,000 miles away. How you doing over there on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean? Let's see. I like your background, Willy. Yeah, I figure a little contrast of a little dark wave music, a little upbeat new wave kind of background, get the whole 80s vibes going, I am a product of the 80s in many ways. So anyway, let's get to the meat and well, before we get to the meat and potatoes, I like to add appetizers, meaning do a video, a quick video. It may or may not be related to what we have to discuss, but it's always levity oriented. And this is Travis and Jonathan, known as a Rest State Update, and they're going to share their insights with their latest. So let me get that one video out. Let's see, which one was it? Let's see. Right here. New York, MAGA. It's called MAGA, New York Right-Wingers.
When did all the conservatives and the right-wingers love New York City this much? They're so upset about the mayoral race right now. God, the Muslims are taking over our country. New York, they have flushed New York down the toilet. You've been telling us New York's been in the toilet for the past 25 years. What the hell the new mayor got to do with it? What do you care? Margaret Taylor Greene, all them raising hell over this stuff. You just want somebody to click a button on a computer to give you $1 or $2. That's all there is to it. You don't give a damn about New York. Never did. Who will click the dollar button? Yeah, people who hate Muslims. There you go. This mayor's a Muslim. I know how to get them to click the dollar button. Watch this. Muslim. Donald Trump Jr. New York has fallen. Well, listen, when you get Gerard Butler out there fist fighting with the new mayor, is he the Democratic candidate or is he even who? When did all the conservatives and the right wingers?
Okay, that's Red State Update, and they kind of bragged themselves as a couple of Trump hating rednecks from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They've been doing this for about 20 years, so. I like listening to them. They always put a smile on my face. So I figure go ahead and let other people know about this podcast. So, I don't know why they don't have a bigger audience because they're pretty damn funny, to tell you the truth. They really are. So, I forgot to put that up. Okay, that's taken care of. So anyway, tonight, we're going to discuss something that I wasn't even aware of until yesterday evening when I got home from a road trip. I went out to the coast yesterday. Went to New Bern, Morehead City, Atlantic Beach, and spent a day there, and then and came back home. And so, at dinner, I was always, fidgeting with the phone and everything, and found out about somebody I've never heard of called Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan, what little I heard musically from them, what little bit I heard, it just sounds kind of like Rage Against the War Machine, but angrier. I mean, that's basically how I would describe it. And apparently at the Glastonbury Festival on Saturday, the controversy was made with with their music. It's like I think they're like a duo or something like that, like a punk / hip hop act. He was saying something like "death to the IDF" and things of that nature, and apparently people got so upset over it. The Prime Minister of Britain was upset over this. Marco Rubio, I think that said that they have revoked the visas for tour. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was what I heard. In other words, everybody's getting upset over this whole notion of controversial statements and all of that. And so what I got to say is this. If you don't like what somebody has to say politically, then just disagree with it. You don't have to go get all moral on your high horse. But, of course, people are going to go and try to make a partisan thing or make a culture war thing out of this. I haven't watched Fox News or any of those usual suspects. I just imagine they're going to probably have this outrage going on for several days or something. Because, you gotta have people getting upset over much of to do about nothing. So let's see here what we got. Yeah, this morning I looked online when I got up from my hard sleep from last night because I was very tired. I saw Savvy Savs tweeting this, and she said basically, how is a chant more problematic than a genocide? And she's basically, let me make sure that there's no sound off of this because I don't want a copyright strike. So let me make sure there's no sound coming out of it. Okay, there's no sound coming out of it. Good. Drew Pablo, who's who I never heard of, is on Twitter, basically saying, I can't take it. I'm actually struggling. At my heart, I'm a moderate, progressive, social democrat, but the popularity of tanky, third worldist Maoism in leftist circles is so profoundly alienating and pushing me more conservative. Here we had the main act at Glastonbury, an incredibly prestigious position to occupy, chanting for race war, gloating about white people becoming minorities, celebrating decolonial massacres. The standard left-wing response line when challenged about this is to deny that is happening. They will laugh at you and pretend it's just a new fringe of extremists on social media being amplified by Fox News as right-wing propaganda, but it's so clearly not. It's on the main stage at Glastonbury being broadcast to millions. I hate it so much. Here's what I got to say about this. It's a chant. It's a concert. And yeah, this performer was being edgy. Yeah, he was being edgy. And maybe you want to say it was outrageous. That's fine. A whole lot worse is going on than somebody that's at a concert making comments to trigger people. I mean, the Western civilization will not collapse because of a concert that happened over there in Glastonbury with some controversial statements. I heard much worse coming out of the right, and it gets unnoticed or dismissed or punished and all that. And so, and I know some people are going to be like, well, there you go about whataboutism. And usually the conservatives will say that. Oh, yeah, it's all about whataboutism. You lose an argument, you go, whataboutism. No, when you go about whataboutism, it means that the other person's side has their people, their crazies, having to say whatever they want to say. and it goes unchecked. It never gets it never gets called out the way it needs to. But if there's an opportunity to punch left, some people will just go ahead and do it because that's just the trendy thing to do, is to go and punch left. Makes people feel better, I guess. So I'll give you an example about whatabism. So this motherfucker, Ted Nugent, right-wing nut job, the P word, as you can see on the screen. I'm not getting myself shut down. And a draft dodger. Turd Nugent. Turd Nugget, actually. And here's the thing about the Nuge. Right-wing guy who loves America more than everything else. And anybody who's a Democrat or whatever is a socialist, communist, Marxist, Stalin, Maoist, whatever you want to go and use as a term of negative endearment. The motherfucker in the 1960s literally shit in his pants to not go to Vietnam, to basically avoid going to Vietnam. Supported the fucking Vietnam War, but he was too much of a pussy to go out there and join the fight. No, fuck him. Fuck Ted Nugent, you know? And I'll tell you, I'll tell you a funny story about Ted Nugent. Okay, as far as the musicianship, as far as him as a musician or what have you, there's a lot of people that go to Ted Nugent concerts not to hear his music. They go there to hear his right-wing rants. You know, and the thing about it is that in the 1960s, he was in a group called the Amboy Dukes, who had a hit called Journey to the Center of the Mind. I will play the song, but again, copyright situation. It sounds kind of like the Moody Blues, which you listen to it, and the early Moody Blues when you hear it. And it's not the Ted Nugent you would imagine when you see them perform on stage. And so I guess I could play it. I guess I could play it with the volume down, and that probably wouldn't. There probably would not be any controversy there. I'm going to chance that. So as I play it, I will go and comment on what I need to comment about here. Having that said, Ted Nugent was in the Amboy Dukes, and the song was considered a drug song. It was considered a song about LSD usage, pretty common in the 1960s. So hold on a second here. I'll get it set up for y'all. And I don't want any, as I said, any copyright strikes to manifest itself. So give me a moment here. We will get rid of this here, and just for entertainment purposes, with the volume down, we'll play you the performance as I comment. So give me a moment here. I just thought about that just now. Whoop. Okay. There you go. 1968, you'll see Ted Nugent up there on stage doing his thing. Well, the song was about LSD. It's about LSD usage, and he claimed that he didn't know that's what the song was about. That it was a song about being introspective. There he is playing guitar in 1968. You would not think. I believe him that he's never done drugs or smoked or drank alcohol and all that, and I think that might be what the fuck is wrong with him. But he was always incredibly right wing, and he sort of stood out. But even in the 1960s here, incredibly right wing, but in the midst of the counterculture. And so, the point I'm trying to make is that he's kind of a juxtaposition in that regard. And so he's made homophobic remarks. He's made racist remarks. He's made violent remarks against people that he politically disagrees with. and he's made some outlandishly conspiracy theories that, if Obama's reelected, that he would disappear, that as if, borrowing from the textbook of Glenn Beck about FEMA camps for political dissidents and that sort of thing. That would just basically prove to be a falsehood. He's just an obnoxious asshole. And as I said, I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what he was initially like. Honestly, if you ever hear the song Journey to the Center of the Mind, it's a halfway decent song. It's just too bad that a horse's ass by the name of Ted Nugent was in the group, but I guess it was necessary to have him in the group. So there was that. So I am going to play you some Ted Nugent from a couple of years ago of him commenting, threatening actually, and I'll make this clear that I do not like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. I do not like Barack Obama, but again, I also don't think people should have their lives threatened either. So I
was in Chicago last week. I said, "Hey Obama, you might want to suck him on these, you punk." You don't get that. Obama, he's a piece of shit. And I told him to suck at my machine gun. Let's hear for him. And then I was in New York. I said, "Hey Hillary, you might want to ride one of these into the sunset, you worthless bitch." You might want to suck at my machine gun. Hey, Diane Feinstein, ride one of these, you worthless whore. Any questions? Freedom! I was in Chicago last week. I said, "Hey Obama, you might..."
And I'm sorry about how loud he was. But he basically, Ted Nugent went on the stage and called President Obama a piece of shit and Hillary Clinton a worthless bitch. I don't know if I disagree with that per se, but let's say I agree with him for different reasons, opposite reasons. Then Trump invited him to the White House. Spare me your fair outrage about Rashida Tlaib using a bad word to call for the impeachment of Trump. This is back in 2019 when she was calling for the impeachment of Trump. We're going to go and impeach that motherfucker. Which I do have a side commentary about impeachment. Because the 2019 impeachment, I opposed, and I still oppose. But I was supportive of the 2021 impeachment, where he was impeached the second time. And to now, I think that he needs to be impeached and democratically removed from the White House through the 25th Amendment. But that's a little side thing about Trump. Getting back to Ted Nugent. He basically threatened the life of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And I think it's, we may hate these politicians, but I don't want any physical harm done to anybody, even people that I disagree with. It may make me a wuss in some ways, but it's just how I operate. I believe in making fun of them. I believe in humiliating them. I believe in dragging their name through the mud. I believe in opposing them in every way to discredit everything they stand for. I do not support physical harm or worse against anybody. I don't care who you are. Having that said, I'm sure that when that was being said back then, that the right wing had no problem with Ted Nugent's words. But my goodness, they're going to go and clutch their fucking pearls over Bob Billion. Again, I just don't get it. I don't understand why people want to go make a culture war out of nothing. This concert will be forgotten by the end of the week. And I'm just going to say that right there from the get-go. But right now, I know I'm cutting it a bit short because I need to get a little bit of a power snooze before work tonight. I just wanted to go and discuss that, and we'll continue here with other people on the chat line. So let me scroll back to where we were off. Hold on a second here. We'll get back to... Okay. Yeah. All right. Peace Dub says, Willie, how are you doing, Peace Dub? Let's see here. And Earl says, hello. How are you doing, my friend? How's things on the East Coast? Snipe Hunter, my college buddy, says, hello, everyone. We have everybody kind of saying hello to everybody, and I'm somewhat, let's see, free speech should be ultimate. Disagree or not? That is absolutely my view. I practice what I preach. Clutching pearls. What the fuck? There's a genocide happening. That's correct. I think the genocide sort of take precedence over what some naughty words. Willie, I wouldn't fuck Ted Nugent with your dick. I would not fuck Ted Nugent with my dick either. You know. The only person, let's see, now, Tulsi Gabbard, it would be done with class, and, you know, she'll have to, you know, agree to it, but, that's a different story. I never did drugs or smoke or done alcohol. Yeah, right, says Max Sarjay. Yeah, I believe him. I think that's what's wrong with him, I'll tell you the truth. I think that's what's wrong with him. I guess somebody somewhere did that. It wasn't me. Commentaries Crate says, same here. Just took a job that I might refuse after finding loads of problems. Don't want to be dragged in. Let's see, we have here. I used to go to a bar in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, that was owned by Ray Smith. Ted and Ray were good hunting buddies, and I saw Ted Nugent quite often. He wasn't a creepy dude back then. I mean, I think he probably just gotten more obnoxiously political over the years. Let's see what we got here. Hello, you're everywhere. We're getting the dry lightning storm. Hopefully we'll make it through. It's actually been a mild summer, to tell you the truth. It's not been so horrible. Adam Moose says, I'm getting sucked more into the local politics, trying to create neighborhood coalitions. Oh, my local politics around here, it's not happening because everything's so right-wing in Johnson County, North Carolina. Let's see, I've been bouncing around all day. I hope you survive the electrical apocalypse. I don't see that much lightning around lately here. And I started you're in California, Humboldt County, California. Peace ups. Let's see, Snipe Hunter. So we have a lot of people getting friendly, just chitter chatter, and I'm joining in the conversation. I hope that goes well for you. Locals always better. Hope you do well and grow veggies. Enemies tour. Kamashari Kate. And I participated in 7 guerrilla gardens on neglected city lots. After more than 5 years, the city bulldozed and poured dry cement powder on the gardens. I am actually going to start gardening when I retire. Wherever I move, I think I'm going to start a garden and and try to do a little living off the grid. I've been thinking about it. It's not really in my character, but I think it might be a necessity in this day and age. So, everyone, if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment anyway if you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on my channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. And remember to always reject corporate media, because they have nothing to offer. Subscribe to the Willy Bragg Show on all my platforms. You know where they are. And until next time, free and pardon Ed Snowden, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, preserve all free speech, and of course, fuck Ted Nugent. Take care, everybody. I will see y'all later. Sorry to cut this short, but I got to go and get a little bit of rest before work. Take care. Bye-bye.